Freelancers, hi. If you are watching this video, you probably quit your 9 to 5 and you're going to begin your freelancing journey. Or you've already quit your 9 to 5. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you how I got my first freelancing client. And you can follow the same blueprint to land your first freelancing client. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Natalia, and in this video, I'm going to tell you all the different ways that I got a client for my freelancing gigs. I got my first freelancing client through LinkedIn. Story time. So, back when I was working my 9 to 5, I started applying to other opportunities on LinkedIn, and I came across this one job post which said they're looking for a social media manager and a video content creator. And this was a remote opportunity. And there was no freelance mentioned anywhere. So I applied because in my head it was like, okay, remote opportunity. I don't have to leave my home. I can work from my home office, no traffic, yada, yada, yada. So I loved that opportunity and I applied. And for the first 2 weeks, I was ghosted. Nobody reached out to me. And that was the only job I applied to. And that was the only remote opportunity available at that time, which was suitable for me because I loved the industry. And after 2 weeks, I get a call from the CEO of that particular company. And they told me that they love my profile. They want to go ahead with the interviews and all of that. And I went ahead with it. I shared all of my portfolios and she loved it. She loved it and she asked me, can you start working for us immediately? And at that time, I had a solid 9 to 5. So, 9 to 5, I was working. So, after 9 to 5, I would come home and I would work with this client. That's how it initially started. And once I started making more money from this one particular client, more than what I was making in my 9 to 5, I just quit. I told my manager that I'm leaving. I gave some silly excuse saying that I have some family emergency. My manager, if you're watching this video, I'm sorry. But yes, I quit my job and I started working with this one client. So, this one client was my one and only freelancing client. If she were to go, I don't have any income. So I took that leap of faith and I started working for her, and things were great. So that's how I landed my first ever freelancing client. So, my second client. Now, this is a pretty interesting story. Since I was working at a 9 to 5, I was working as a video content creator for a brand, and it was a co working brand. So, my job there was to go around the co working and shoot a lot of videos. So, when I'm shooting a lot of videos, there are other companies who had taken up space in the co working spaces, and they would see me shooting. And I've seen some clients come and ask my cameraman, who is this person, what are you guys shooting, like what's going on. And like that, I landed my second client. So one of the companies which were there in that co-working space, they wanted someone to handle their social media, they wanted someone to create videos for them. Because think about it, all the companies which have taken space in a co-working space are usually startups, and they don't have many departments in their company yet because it's in the startup stage. So I figured that okay, I can probably get more clients if I were to be working out of a co-working space, because most of the companies there are looking for a lot of services, not just digital marketing. They're also looking for someone to develop their websites. They're looking for somebody to like manage their products, anything. So these companies which have taken up space at that co-working space were looking for a lot of services. So I figured, okay, let me start targeting them. And that's how I got my second client. One of the companies there, they saw me shooting and they liked what I was doing. They liked the way I speak. So they gave me their digital marketing thing and I took it over. And that's how I got my second client. But here I came across another problem which I did not anticipate that I would have. So when they told me that they needed their whole digital marketing thing taken care of, I was just a video content creator, which means I can probably talk in front of the video, I can create the scripts, I can storyboard, I can even edit a little bit. But then they needed their whole, they wanted to hire a whole marketing team. So that's when I realized, okay, I probably can't do all of this alone. I would need more people. So I gave them a huge ass budget and I told them, see, I would take care of your entire digital marketing. And these are the people I'm going to be hiring for this particular project. So this is the project cost. And they accepted. They liked my proposal. They accepted it. And after that, I hired a cameraman, an editor, a social content writer, and a social media manager in my team. And I paid them pretty good. And since this was the beginning of my journey as a freelancer, and now I'm getting to manage a whole project and hire people for this particular project, it was a whole experience. I loved it because it was just for that one client. But here's when things started getting crazy. Doing it for one client and managing everything sounds perfect. Now imagine doing the same thing for multiple clients. So me at that time when I started freelancing, I got 4 to 5 clients, and I was doing the same thing for 4 to 5 clients. Now being a freelancer doesn't mean that you don't owe anybody anything. It doesn't mean that you are your own boss. You are, but you're not your own boss because you have 4 other bosses. The companies that you're working for, they are your bosses. And what you do in a 9 to 5 is you work for a single brand, and you just do one service, which can be content writing, script writing, video production, etc. But now when you are freelancing, you're doing the same thing for multiple clients, for multiple brands in multiple industries. So it was starting to get crazy. So make sure when you are taking up projects, make sure they are projects which you can handle, which you have the capacity for, or the mental health for. That is very important. My third client, the power of referrals. I have a lot of friends working in a lot of companies, in a lot of industries, and they know what I'm capable of. So if there is a requirement in their company, they would refer me. So that's how one of my colleague referred me to her company, and they reached out to me, and I went to their office for a meeting. And there was a small audition because this was a video content creator anchoring role. So there was an audition which I cleared. After that, I got that gig too. Now I got this gig because my friend referred me. So the power of referrals, it's real. So after I got to experience the power of referrals, I started making a lot of moves on Instagram. So up until that point, I was accepting random connection requests. I wasn't engaging with a lot of people. I was connecting with people who I would never work with. But after this incident, I started making meaningful connections. People who I would, possibly potentially collaborate within the future. And that was a game changer for me. Right now, I'm still building my LinkedIn. It's still in the early stages. I'm still working on my personal brand. But now I'm being very meaningful about it, being very mindful about it. So that is how I got my first 3 clients. Now, what kind of clients you should be working with? Not all clients are the right clients. So here's who to choose and who to say yes to. First, always work with clients who hire you because you are the right fit for their company, not just because you're the cheapest option. Second, hire clients who value your skills and are happy to pay for that quality of work that you deliver. Number 3, hire clients who are willing to sign a contract because professionalism matters. Now, if you want to learn more about contracts, make sure you go check out my previous video. Next, hire clients who communicate clearly and respect your time. A good client values your schedule and doesn't expect you to work last minute miracles. Next, work with clients who provide constructive feedback instead of vague criticism, because clear communication leads to better collaboration. Finally, work with clients who see you as a partner and not just a vendor, because they involve you in strategy and appreciate your expertise. Now, let's talk about who to avoid. That is, clients you should not be working with. You should refuse to work with clients who refuse to sign a contract. If they are not willing to put things in writing, that's a huge red flag. Make sure you get contracts signed. Next, avoid clients who expect one person to do the job of an entire marketing team, because you are a freelancer, you're not a miracle worker. Next, do not work with clients who did not give you at least 50% of creative independence. If they are micromanaging everything, you'll burn out fast. Next, avoid clients who expect you to be available 24 hours by 7. You're not an employee, you're not working 9 to 6, you're a freelancer, you're a business owner. So make sure you let them know that politely. Next, avoid clients who lowball your rates. If they are not willing to pay you what you're worth, walk away. Next, avoid clients who constantly change the scope of work without adjusting the budget. If it's not in the contract, then it's extra, charge for it. Next, avoid clients who ghost you after discussions or payments. Because if they are disappearing mid project, then there's a high chance that they will disappear when it's time to pay. Finally, avoid clients who have unrealistic expectations and don't respect deadlines. Because if they want to see results overnight, they don't understand the creative process. So make sure you find the right type of client to work with. Finding clients as a freelancer isn't just about getting work, but it's about getting the right work with the right people. So focus on building relationships, showcasing your skills, and setting boundaries. Trust me, once you start picking the right clients, freelancing becomes a game changer. And if you are a beginner looking to get into freelancing, make sure you have the opportunity or the freedom to say no to certain clients. You don't have to take up every project that comes your way. That is what I did in the beginning, and I learned a lot of lessons. So make sure you pick the right clients who are the best fit for you. Just like how the clients always hire an employee who's the best fit for the company, make sure you do the same when you are hiring a client. So stay safe out there. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.